Hi, welcome back to the channel. I'm Graham, this is Caravan Vlogger. In today's vlog we're going to be discussing single axle and twin axle caravans. What's the difference? Which is best for us? This is a question I get asked on a regular basis. That's a lie. I've been asked once 1 year ago on one of our vlogs. Actually, Mr. Trudgeon posed a question on a just after we'd got this unicorn twin axle, asking, you know, it'd be worth doing some kind of pros and cons on single and twin axle. So over 1 year later, I'll put the little post there. By the way, Dan's, if you don't know Dan's video, if you don't know Dan's vlog, have a look. There'll be a link up there somewhere. Like he needs my help. Anyway, so I'll answer the question, which I'll tell you the differences between single and twin axle caravans and which I think's best and why we have a twin axle now and did have a single. Single axle or twin axle caravans, which is best? Now, I can't tell you which is best for you. I can tell you which is best for us and why I chose, or why we chose, as twin axle over the single axle that we did have. So previously we had a Sterling Eccles, which was a single axle caravan, and we now have a Bailey Unicorn, which is a twin axle caravan. So what are the differences? Firstly, well, obviously it has more wheels. Sorry, couldn't help myself. Let me check my notes and I'll get back to you. I think first and foremost we were ready to change the caravan because a previous caravan had a reasonable amount of damp in it. It was getting on a bit, and the time was just right for us to get a new caravan. The first reason is towing stability. Now, we've found this to be true, that a twin axle is more stable when towing than a single axle. Obvious reasons. It has 4 tyres. We find that we don't get as much movement when driving, so that's a definite plus point for us. But it's probably not a reason why you would change to a twin axle, because many single axles tow perfectly well. So the next point for us was the amount of space. Now, although there's now only 2 of us that go away, we like, with this particular model anyway, we like the amount of space you get in the lounge. So we have a Bailey Unicorn Cartagena, and this lounge bit where I'm now sitting is one of the longest that we've been in. I will give you sizes in a little while so you can tell the difference. In fact, what I will do is, so this is a Bailey Cartagena. There's also a caravan, a Bailey Vigo, V-I-G-O, I'll say Vigo. Exactly the same caravan as this, pretty much, other than it being a single axle. So this is a real good, real life benefits you get from a twin axle. Okay, which is what I'll do in a while. So a couple of areas, like I say, about the lounge was longer. A couple of other areas you'll get, and when I show you the foot plans, when I show you the layouts of the 2 caravans, you'll see where the space is. But I'll just tell you briefly. So by the door you get a kind of shelf unit which is about 10 inches wide. Which you don't get on the Vigo. Also, beside the cooker, just to the right of the cooker, there's a small shelf which is fantastic. It means your pots, you can turn the handles all the way around. They're not just. Should I show you? I'll show you. So here's the cooker, as you can see there. Honest, it is under there. This little shelf here, here's my hand. See that? It's as wide as my hand. So when you've got pots and pans on here, you can turn around so that the handle goes there. Now when I tell you the price difference between the single axle and twin axle, this is not the only reason we've got this caravan. However, that's an advantage there, that bit there. So here's the door of the caravan. As you come in, there's this shelf unit here, which is actually where we put the telly, because the TV or things up there
And then there's this bow-fronted cupboard, which we keep a whole manner of stuff in, which is very handy just by the door. So you don't get this on the Vigo. Now I know Oliver from Caravan with the Coxes has got a Vigo. I expect him to put no end of comments below here. I might be wrong, but looking at the layouts, anyway, you don't get this with the Vigo.
So twin axle and single axle. Maneuverability on site. Now maneuverability is where the single axle wins hands down on just about every single way, apart from when driving, when towing. On site we've always had a motor mover. Actually, we haven't always had a motor mover. With our last 2 caravans we've had a motor mover. We had a caravan before that didn't have a motor mover. Single axle caravan with motor mover, you can literally turn in a sixpence. I could just basically sit here and spin it. You can't do that with a twin axle. It makes it more difficult to get it on the pitch in one hit. So unhook the car, and if you were just to use the motor mover on a twin axle to get it on the pitch, there's a lot of backwards and forwards in, backwards and forwards in. Now we don't have all-wheel drive, so we have motor mover on just 2 of the wheels, not all 4. Now I don't know if all 4 would help. I don't really want it to go any faster. I just need the turning circle to be tighter. So that I'll definitely give the single axle the thumbs up there over the twin axle with motor movers. And twin axle, it's a heavy caravan. You're not going to push it. Well, I'm not going to push it on anyway. It's not. You'd need the motor movers, in my opinion. Tyres, twin axle. There are 4 tyres, more expense. That is true. Caravan insurance is more expensive with a twin axle. Not by much, maybe £50. That is a guess. I mean, if it would have been anything more than that, I would have definitely known. Servicing is, I think, £20 more expensive for the last quote I got, and I know that because he quoted me for a single axle by mistake, and then when he did the service he went, oh, it's twin axle, it's £20 more. Now so there's a couple of things that really sold the twin axle. So I was just checking how messy that side of the caravan is, because I was going to just pan round and show you something. The fridge. Now, whilst researching again, so I did research for this video for a website, for a page on our website, discussing which I thought was best. So I've basically done the vlog based on that blog. Now at the time, looking at the Vigo, I looked at the size of fridges, and the Cartagena had a bigger fridge, 190 against, I can't remember off the top of my head, I think it was 130. So yeah, reasonable amount bigger, more food, more drink, more of everything really. And we didn't want the fridge under the sink, so in our caravan it's opposite the sink. Now I think I've just looked, I think the Vigo now has a 190 litre fridge, so it didn't help me a couple of years ago, but probably now I might, don't know. I don't know whether now I'd still choose a twin axle. So I've got here, typical me I think, bigger to wash. The twin axle is bigger to wash. I'll go over the sizes in a minute, but it's obviously bigger to wash. I wash it twice a year, doesn't really matter. Now, here's the thing, the price. I'll put a graphic up there somewhere, which has from our website here. This is just a direct print of our website. This is a comparison chart of the Cartagena and the Vigo, so twin and single axle basically being the same caravan. So whilst I'm displaying that there, I'll look at some of the figures. So the price, it's what, 2003. It was £2,300 more. There you go, I've said it. Is it worth it? Yeah, it's a very personal thing. There are disadvantages to a twin axle as well as advantages. So the shipping length of both. The shipping length of the twin axle is 7.9 metres. For the single axle, equivalent is 7.3. So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So you're getting 60 centimetres bigger. 60 centimetres, £2,300 more. So if you're just going on size, you wouldn't buy it, would you? 60 centimetres internal length. 6.3 versus 5.8 internal length. So again, you're not getting a great deal of length, but I think with the two things I showed you earlier, when you're already in a fairly small area, being in a caravan, the small bits make all the difference, in my opinion. Payload is just 5 kilograms more on the twin axle. Now these front benches, I believe they're a lot bigger in the twin axle. They feel a lot bigger. Front, so here we go, front near side single, 1.9 by 60 centimeters, and in the Vigo 1.7 by 68 centimeters. So those wider but not as long. So what's that, 20 centimeters. Again, not big on paper, but for us personally, when you're in the van, it feels bigger. Am I talking myself out of this? No, I think on reflection, I'd still get the twin axle. It still does everything we need it to do when we bought it at the time, anyway. And going back to the fixed double, it's pretty much the same, almost exactly the same size. So just to summarise, the advantages for us over when we purchased this, we're looking at the Cartagena and the Vigo. So double axle, twin axle or single axle. It was the size, so overall size, so slightly longer bench seats inside, the size of the fridge, the two kind of extra shelf units that I showed you beside the cooker and just by the front door. Those are and being more stable for us on the road, which was important. So there you go, single or double axle. I don't think I've put a convincing case towards definitely getting a double axle. I keep saying double axle. I don't think I've put a good enough case for most people to spend an extra £2,300 on a caravan. Choice is yours, I suppose. Single or double, it's up to you. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.